Hello, this is old Mr. Kent, and this morning I'm making a right-hand turn on my morning ride instead of a left-hand turn, which I usually make, because I want to avoid the dusty area in that housing development that I ride through, which the last video I put up was showing how much dust was coming down, and what I did was I got a shot of the weather vane, which is pointing towards the southeast, and so instead of going north and getting into the dust, I'm going southeast the way the weather vane pointed, so that I avoid getting into that dust that's coming from that sand and gravel area. And it's also I like this road. It's a little more interesting. A lot of dirt roads. You got to be kind of careful because that's how I dislocated my shoulder a couple of years ago. So I got that all taken care of. And anyway, so it's a little more interesting in doing an e-bike ride on dirt roads, and so that makes it fun. But also, I have an objective that I decided, since I was going to go this way. I'm going to try to get some answers to some questions that I have. And so as we go along, I'll explain that a little more to you. But if you watched my last video, I'll put a link to it. I was riding in my e-bike in just thick dust and breathing it in and everything. And by the way, this tank here has been, they've replaced two smaller tanks with this one large one, and they mix the chemicals there, and that's the water that goes out to the circle irrigation that is by our house there. So I'm about a mile away from where we live, and then as we come around the corner up here, you can look across the valley and see the dust going down just like it did yesterday and other days. And so that's why I'm going this direction instead of toward that dust. And then up ahead here, there's the sprinkler irrigation up there in the upper left-hand corner. You can see how it is spraying water there, and that comes from that tank. And then as we come around this corner, this is a construction site that I fly over. I can take off from my home and fly over this construction site. It makes a nice, you don't have to go for a bike ride or anything. And at the present time, all the construction has slowed way down. And there's my friend, the spotted dog. Anyway, all the construction has slowed down, and they're not even building houses. They're still putting up the cinder block walls, so there's still a little bit of action there, but they're not building houses there yet. So now we've finally left all the dirt roads that we'll be riding on this morning, and we're on going to be paved roads until we return home. And about here, I remembered that I had not started my bike tracking app, which I like to use, and then I can show you the route that I took and things like that. So since I forgot, I'm 1.6 miles from home, and so I missed out on the first mile and a half or so. Now I've got it running, and so that I can show you the route that I took. So over here on the right, you can see the green spot there. That's where I started, and of course I'm heading away from home and going out to where I turned around. And you'll notice I go back and forth there. Did you notice that? And the reason I go back and forth is because I found something that is very helpful and interesting. So we'll get to that pretty soon. And so as you can see, that's the route that I came home on, which is almost exactly like the route that I took as we came along. There's a slight change there, but I won't try to get confusing about it. So anyway, that's the route that I took. And as it turned out, I rode a total of 13 miles to get all this video in. And so this is an intersection where now I'm going to turn and go straight east, and then I can get to the point that I wanted to get to, and one of the reasons why I'm making this video. So here we come up an incline, and there's a big levee that we're going to go up on top of. That there on the right, that's the 300-mile long canal that I talk about a lot. So that's a pretty big canal. Anyway, and this is the levee that they have built to prevent flooding when flash floods come because of the torrential rains that we have during the monsoon season. But I wanted to get up here. This is the highest point I could find by riding my e-bike and be able to look over the valley and take a look at the dust that's flowing around. So that's one reason I made this flight. So you can see out there looking north, you can see the dust flowing along in the valley, and up that straight ahead there at the top, that's the sand and gravel spot. So anyway, and then you'll notice straight ahead down this road, remember if you looked at that other video, there was another spot that was making dust, and that's straight up ahead, but it doesn't look like any of that dust is coming down towards us. Another thing, as I was flying my drone out to get the video that I wanted to make, I saw a newly made road. So I thought, well, as long as I'm riding out this far, I'll go along and see if I can spot any more of that road, because it's running north and south from Phoenix down to Tucson, and it's going to be there's what I spotted yesterday. It's going to be a freeway, but they first of all, I'm guessing that that's what this road has to do with. Maybe it doesn't, but anyway, they have to kind of do their planning and stuff. And so I figured maybe that's what the road is for. So that's what I was looking for as I rode along, going further and further east on that road that I'm on. So anyway, you can see there's some white markers at those corners and everything. There's a purpose for that road, and I don't know what it is. But I rode and rode and rode, and didn't see any side roads that cut off. So that road is not a continuous road if it has anything at all to do with the future Highway 24. And that's that is not a new road. That's a farm road of some kind. And so, but I got this far, and then I got to there's a housing development here, and I'm guessing that the freeway is going to be between the canal and this housing development somewhere in between. And and if you remember when I was showing you the route, there's this one spot where I went back and forth and back and forth. And see that white marker on the pavement? I slowed it down so you could. So when I was coming the opposite direction, I didn't even see that. I rode right over it and didn't even notice it. So now we're going to go back and we're going to take a look at it, because that's how they use markers on roads and so forth for aircraft. As they fly over, they want to mark something for surveying. And so that looks like one of those markers. And then down there it says HVP, and then either a 13 or a B, and I don't know what it is. I got to thinking, what does HVP stand for? And I bet you anything, I probably could be wrong, but it's a helicopter viewpoint. In other words, from the air, as they're planning Highway 24, this might be the spot right here where Highway 24 is going to cross this road. I'm just guessing, but it makes a little bit of sense. So anyway, as I ride back home, I want to thank you for watching my video, and God bless.